big build. Well, sort of. Got a few, not issues, just got to order some more bits. You know, it takes time. Bit annoying. But anyway, I'll give you a bit of a nickel and dime tour of what's happened. And it's been quite a bit of a journey to get to the point of having an almost empty building, for want of a better description. Still a few bits I've got to shift and find a new home for elsewhere, but yes, I should think I've had 2, 4, 6, 8, at least 4, maybe 5 weekends worth of shifting stuff to make room for something else, and then move it back somewhere else and move it again. A bit frustrating, but a couple of minor issues. I've got some damp in the shed, surprise surprise. A couple of boards are rotted on the outside, but fortunately, as you can see up there, I have a bit of spare material. So I'll flip the lens around so you haven't got to look at my ugly mug anymore, and you can look at the ugly finish of this once 20 by 16 garage stroke shed. It's a timber garage originally. There's the doors that used to lead out to wherever many moons ago. It's in its 3rd phase of life in my ownership. It was originally I think in Southend, used for pirate DVDs in its film, and the guy who bought it, that I got it off of, used to restore minis, hence his real quality cutting. I never used any of these holes. I used to have stuff here. I never had any electric in it other than just these lights temporarily rigged up on an extension lead. So we've got to get proper supply in, and I'm just utilising the awful holes that are already been cut, so hopefully I can square them up. And I've stripped all the boards off that I've got here, and that's the rest of the shed. There was a unit here that's had to be moved, a wall here, I sort of can't really focus back enough here. There's a chipboard wall. Luckily I've got another sheet that was salvaged off an old shed at a house I done up. So we've got to come out, sort of, I've got to move the bloody light unfortunately. So the upper wall will be here. So basically we're building a shed within a shed, or a room within a shed. There's an alarm panel there which I'm retaining, so there's going to be a consumer unit there and electric coming in. Keypad there. So roughly somewhere, if it focuses, there's a beam there, so I'm going to put a stud work wall across here, and put a doorway in somewhere, probably roughly in the middle. I'll come the other end and get a better perspective. Door wise, that one on the far side has been screwed shut and sealed up, and this one I've still got to sort out. I've had to overboard, which is a bit of a mix and match, but the black stuff was ply off an old trailer which I've heard about on my old video, I think. Didn't have as much of it as I thought, but I had another big sheet of OSB down there which was a freebie. I had to trim the end off, but that goes beyond where this room will be anyway, so I had to buy another sheet just to cut in half more or less to fill in down here, which unfortunately is 18mm and the rest is 20, so there's a little bit of a difference in the height down here, but this area is going to hold the wine racks and fridges, so it's not going to really pose a problem. Just got to find some black paint or something to match it in with these old boards, and these need a little bit of a touch up, but again, it's nothing special. This is old MDF, again it was original. There was a bit of polystyrene insulation which wasn't sufficient to cover everything, so we've put a membrane in and some loft roll insulation fiberglass stuff, so she's all tight. So I just got some polystyrene to fill in on this doorway and panel the door off and just put a little brush down the joint there just to cut the draft out. I'm going to retain the use of this door if I need be, even though the plan is it's a little bit fluid at the minute till I know what I'm doing and where everything's going to go. But the sink unit will probably, I know it'll overshoot this doorway, but it's not like the doorway's going to get used really. So, and the sink is the only sort of piece that's not freestanding equipment. It is only got one pair of legs, so it's going to be attached to the wall. So the sink will come lengthways here, and then along here will be the brew table. And what else and where else everything else goes is a bit, you know, depends on what we can fit where. Which is why I'm not going to put the wall in until I know how much room I've got to play with. Because I don't want to sort of stick the stud-work wall in and then think, Christ, if I'd have moved it an inch more I'd have got this in. So, and obviously it'll be a hell of a lot easier to get everything in without a full wall being built. I'll probably do this corner piece, this little piece of plywood here if it's picking up, with the corner cut off, is the base of my my Beardis, the walk-in larder fridge, which will probably live up that corner down here where all the junk is, and then the wall behind it and across doorway, and then maybe the other big fridge. Or all along this wall will be the hot fridge, wine racks, and I've got a shelving unit that I've acquired, which is on casters. It needs new casters, but I'm thinking possibly the doorway. That way, if I do need to want to use it, open the door on a nice summer's day, let the heat in or out, I could just wheel it out of the way, open the door, and have a nice view of a stack of drift tyres. Sink's going there, as I said, which is electrics and water is a bit of a no-no, but the holes were there and the sink's got to go there, so I'm not planning on sticking my fingers in whilst immersing my other hand in the water. Don't know what that was, probably a light switch. So what I've done is we've got a little bit of a walkway out the back here, so I've just banged in a hole through the wall and put a cable in so I can put an outside light out the back. And then we'll have a twin socket here. Going to need a water heater and a hand dryer anyway. Up the top here is a bit of a void I've filled in with some expanding foam. That one is a bit drafty there, but along here is a void all the way along the top. So with that point being where the electrics are going to be, although we've got obviously the ring main circuit that's going to go the full way round, and then I'm going out through there, be cable clipped along the beam, and then some trunking all the way along this wall back here, and then probably 3 or 4 double sockets to run the fridges and bits and pieces, fermentation chambers. And the cable will come along there, but obviously I'm going to have a Hermes control panel, so that's going to need a heavier cable on a single circuit. So I'm thinking popping it up in that void. That's all going to be closed off with timber anyway, and then just bringing it down, and wherever it will live, we'll mount the panel on the wall with the electrical feed, and then obviously the table will be along there with the pots, and also water as well, because there's obviously, this is down the far end of the garden, so at the minute it's just going to be sort of like plumbed in here, and then a removable hose on the outside wall going across to the garage where there is mains water supply. So as and when required it will just be connected up. Same, I've got to run an armoured cable round the back, probably along the top over there and out to get the juice in, but that will be running along here and then down the corner. Not 100% sure, because obviously the sink unit I've got that goes here has a little reinforced shelf type thing where the spray tap goes, so that means the sink can't sit flush against the wall, it would have to come out. which will allow me to run a pipe down there without having to cut any stainless, and then obviously up and under to feed the cold water. I'm also planning on putting like a washing machine valve on a fixed bracket, so I can put one of those bottle washers permanently in place. So if there's any beer bottles you have a drink in here, you can just wash her out and job's done. So bit fluid at the minute. Flooring's all done. We've got no bounce for the arounds now. All nice and solid. You can see there's damp come in here before, but that was before I had it. A little bit there, which again is where I said the boards have rotted. Likewise, at the minute we've just got a temporary old 5-foot strip up there. I have got some Cat 5 lights that were brand new and chucked in a skip from a Tesco Superstore build. Talk about wasting money, but they're over 100 and something pound each when I googled them. But I've got to find a home for this bloody great long timber. Roof wise, oh, I'm stuck now, is straight OSB on the beams that support the roof, which are a little bit bowed, but that's how it was when it came to me. And obviously I've got a partition wall up there which now supports the weight and the extra beam I put in there. For me to plasterboard it, obviously it's more money, and insulate it, yet again more money. I'd have to put more timber in here to put a plasterboard up. I'm not overly bothered really. If there's a problem with the roof, at least I can identify it straight away, because I'll see damp patches coming through. And the roof is EDPM rubber sheet, and then I've got corrugated galvanised iron on top of that. So in the 8/9 years it's been up, it's been okay. Touch wood. So I think I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to close these pieces off with a bit of timber trim, and the same along with that cable will go, and obviously there's bits and pieces like that little gap there I've got to fill in to stop the 8-legged fiends invading my new brew space, and close that piece off there, which fortunately is just flush with that beam on the doorway. So that's all going to be enclosed. A little piece added on there, and then the wall will come across. That's pretty much it for the minute. Cost wise, again, there isn't really a budget for it. Cheap as bloody possible, because I'm a cheapskate, but pretty much utilised materials I've already got, had left over from old jobs. The sheets I bought from auction, I don't know what they cost me now, but not a lot. That sheet was free, so I've had to buy that one, which stood me about 23 quid in materials, insulation, blah blah blah, nuts, bolts, screws. At the minute it's cost me, whoops, under 70 quid to buy insulation, damp proof membrane, and just, you know, boxes of screws and decorator's cork and silicone sealer. I've got some black sealer to go around the joint face of the joints there. Once I'll probably have to get some paint just to sort this out and match that down, but at the minute that's it. Nothing too exciting. We've got electrics to do, painting. First fix on the electrics, I've got to get the wiring in, decide where everything's going, and then I'm going to have to move some of the items in and have to just work around them. Unfortunately, be annoying, but it'll be easier to get them in before I put a doorway up, and I'll know what room I've got left. I've done some planning, but it's not completely nailed down, as it were. But that's it for the minute. A little brew shed update. Nothing much to tell you. I'll do another one when I've got something video worthy to put on. Catch you on the next one.